A motion by Helmut.
Welcome to Minutes by Minute. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kenny.
And we're here to talk about what goes on in the village, the township, you know, those government entities, those people that make laws and regulations that affect you out there.
That's right. And whether you live in the village of Oxford, the village of Leonard, Addison Township, or Oxford Township, these are the people that, well, you went elected and will get the opportunity again in November. And the commissions and the committees that make decisions or made decisions that directly affected you, whether you chose to go to that meeting or not. And, well, the results can be a taxing situation.
Or a humorous one.
Not
right?
if you're in a taxing situation.
Well, eventually they'll come back and bite you if you don't go or you don't pay attention to
Well,
what's
that's
going on
true.
around you, right?
That's right.
Is that what you're saying?
That's right.
Pretty much.
Don't look out for the elephant in the room. Watch
Right.
out.
And the humor, it bubbles to the top. All you got to do is scrape it off, and there it is. We find it, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
Plus that other nasty critter called rumor. Things that go around that you folks are spreading rumors. We actually put a nip on that. He actually makes more rumors here than you probably even thought about doing.
But strangely enough, he confirms them.
Right. So it works out pretty good for us, doesn't it?
Yes.
Okay. Well, let's talk about a couple
Keep our
of meetings.
lawyers busy.
Yeah, the lawyers are really busy. Let's talk about a couple of meetings that came up last week or so. Oxford Township Board of Trustees is one that was held on August 8th. And the other one we're going to talk about is the Oxford Township Planning Commission meeting, which was August 9th. Okay, let's get on with it. Bill Dunn, of course, is supervisor of Oxford Township. He serves as the chairperson for the township. Curtis Wright is the clerk. Joe
Ferrari.
Got it. I was waiting for you to kick in there. And
I
you
did.
We're going to change his name to Smith, I was going to, but the rumor is his name is Ferrari. That's a rumor, right? Okay. Anyway, great guy. He does a great job as far as treasurer for the township. Jack Curtis serves on that board, as he does several other boards as well. Excuse me. Marjorie Payne serves as a trustee, as well as Patty Dewar. And,
Yours truly.
yep, I would be there too. So let's get on with it. Pledge. They did the pledge. Got the preliminaries out of the way, actually. Agenda for August 8th was approved. And public comments, non-agenda items. None.
Oh,
But there's one gentleman that stood up, and he is from Troop 356. His name is Ian Davidson,
Boy Scout?
Boy Scout. Excuse me, and he's working towards Citizenship Merit badge. And his plan is to interview for the Safety Path and the DDA project walkability study, which for M24, if you realize they're going to be making some changes there on the safety path. So he wants to put it all together and provide that information to the township. Nice young man. And
On
pretty sharp.
M24.
On M24.
Going south?
Doesn't matter.
Oh,
M24 goes south and it goes north.
okie dokie.
He's just concerned with the safety path at this point, excuse me, as far as input that could be put in, you know, by the residents and also members of the township.
Okay.
So, the next individual to speak was Mary Ann Kings, and she's from Stony Lake Village, and she's the president of that particular subdivision.
Okay.
And she wanted to thank the senior people that were responsible for putting together the senior center that they're going to build at Seymour Park. And of course, that was a nice segue into Ron Davis and his presentation.
The senior center will be our next door neighbor
Be our next door neighbor.
when our station is built.
Right. Could be. Or we could be their next door neighbor.
Or vice versa.
Right. Okay. So Ron Davison, he stood up and he said, well, I would like to let people know, he said, that the architectural plans are being developed as we speak. And he said, William Service, who's the, yes?
Our service manager, no, our station manager.
Station manager, waiting for the cue, but never came and went that away. Anyway, he has been working diligently on this as well. And Ron said that his first concerns were with the concession stand that he wanted to build, as well as a pavilion that had to be built as well. Those were his top priorities. And then, of course,
And there's a guy out there with a shovel going, just tell me when, just
just
tell me when.
And he's holding off because I understand that there's some legalities, contract agreements, that kind of thing that have to be agreed upon, right?
And time
And
marches on.
Time marches on. You can hear those drums. Anyhow, that's what happened. And then they went on to the first reading for a public hearing. And they had an amendment which was approved for procedures, definitions, and for solar energy additional input. Remember, we talked about that a little bit.
Solar energy addition to residents or to
To the
municipal
ordinance.
buildings?
Yeah, it would be to the ordinance and to all the buildings. Could be commercial, could be,
Okay.
domestic buildings, residential, that kind of thing.
Michigan isn't truly prime like Arizona is for exposure to sunlight, but I guess they can
We only have
achieve
2
some
days
savings.
of sunlight here,
Better use them quick.
Isn't quick. Okay, that would be a rumor. I think there might be 3 days. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Anyhow, So anyway, so they agreed to go on to the second reading. It was approved, so the first reading went fine. Second reading for the Commercial Peddlers Solicitations Act.
Peddlers?
Peddlers, people that go door to door peddling,
I see.
peddling their little bikes. Well, that's not what it is. They knock on your door. They say, "You don't want to buy any of these, do you?"
No.
No. Anyhow, that's
Sick
not
'em,
what
Rusty.
they say. Right. Right. Get them, Cujo. Anyway, that's usually what happens. So anyway, they're attempting, your township officials are attempting to bring this forward and have an ordinance created.
So
And-
people can take their no solicitation signs down or what?
Well, actually, that's all part of it. And
Oh.
people will be, I think, in agreement that there will be solicitation signs which will be documented in terms of size and available actually at your township office at
Oh,
some
good.
point along the way.
Good.
This hasn't been totally approved yet, and that's because there was some legal discussion that needed to go on here concerning the First and 14th Amendments. And we won't get into that because we'll be here all day.
Are we talking freedom of speech here?
We are, and other things. But there was a subcommittee appointed to research this and provide the verbiage and also the content of what the ordinance will be. And those people on that board will be Joe Ferrari, which makes sense. There would be Jack Curtis,
Right.
who is very active at these meetings, and yours truly, Elgin Nichols.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, so we have met once already on this one. I would say that we have a good 90% of it all pretty much resolved. There's a little bit more that needs to be done, and there will probably be one more meeting yet before it actually goes before the
Have
Board of
any
Trustees.
of the peddlers or vendors actually showed up to voice their opinion?
No, but we are seeking information from you folks out there and what your thoughts are about peddlers that go door to door. Now, the peddlers also include like the ice cream trucks, that kind of thing.
Oh.
And what they're looking at, in essence, is getting a registration of each of these people. And without going too far ahead and jumping to rumor, will be required to carry a badge, and also they'll have a background check, so you folks won't have to worry so much as to who's coming to your door and peeping in your windows, right?
I guess.
That's happened, you know. Yeah.
Oh.
Some
well,
vendors come, they look in the window. I know you're in there.
As long as I don't use megaphones.
Right. That's when my wife whips out the double barrel shotgun, and normally they can run pretty fast. But anyway, you don't want to do that either, folks. But anyway, so that,
You got to watch out for the kids too, because you banned the ice cream truck? What are you crazy?
well, the ice cream truck isn't allowed to come through at midnight or 1 in the morning.
Well,
But-
that's true. That's
So,
true. Yeah.
Anyway,
it
so
might
there will
wrong.
be some regulation of that coming down the line. And we'll talk more about that when we come back right after this.
What have you done?
Where's my ice cream? Welcome back to Minutes by Minute. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kenny.
And we are having a kind of a frank discussion here about the trustees board that went on
Yes.
with the township.
Ordinances and ordinances.
Ordinances and ordinances, but they got to be done right. It's kind of like the old wine that has to, age to get
Well, you don't want to
get better.
revisit the thing several times. You want to do it
No.
right the first time,
Right.
as the old Crosby instructions said.
Right, and there are state and federal concerns with this too. For example, if you're a political individual going door to door for political reasons, you
Or peddling your opinion.
you're not required, to get thrown off the porch.
Why not?
Unless you're asked to leave. Also, religious organizations that go door to door. It's freedom of speech. So
And that's
there
a
you
fine
have it.
line, apparently, with the
That
peddlers.
is a fine line, and it's actually been tested in Supreme Court, federal level, and that's the way it is. That's
Well,
the
which
rest
which
of the
way did
story.
it go?
Well, you cannot restrict religious people coming to your door. You cannot restrict political opponents coming to your door.
But you can restrict commercial people.
You can, but that's what we're working on, to make sure
Okay.
that they're registered
All right.
and that there is a background check, make sure that's
And the Supreme
safe.
Court ruled on that one, or
It
did they?
It did, and that's what's the reason why we're working with what we have. We
Is there a
attempt-
state rule
There is,
and a county rule?
there is, but you got to conform with both federal and state requirements.
Right, right.
Which all go back to the Constitution, freedom of speech.
Which has been amended a couple of times.
That has not been amended.
Yes, it
Has not. Maybe in your home.
What?
Tell me more.
When did you take
Great
history
guru.
class?
Great guru,
Go back
tell
to
me more.
Go back to your civics class, my
Which
son.
one? Okay. All right, Grasshopper, I'll tell you more later. Okay, the next thing they talked about, of course, is there anything coming from the fire department? Pete Schultz. Pete said, no. He said, we really don't have anything. So they said, let's go on to the next issue, which is Birdie's Indoor Golf and Bar. I don't know if you're aware that they aren't going into the end building next to Myers there in that small mall complex. Instead, they're going to be 2 doors down.
Oh, that's where the old Snap Fitness was.
Yep, that's where it was.
Okay.
And so that's where the Birdies will be. They, of course, have a Class C liquor license, and you folks can play golf to your little heart's content all winter at Birdies Indoor and Golf and Bar. And that was approved as far as the address change, and it had to be done before it was sent into the Liquor Control Board. Okay, Parks and Recreation millage. Clerk Wright said that legal wording has to be established for the ballot, which they're going to run in November, seeking less than about 1 mil roughly.
So that wasn't on the election we just had.
Right.
Okay.
And here's the thing: it actually has to be a excuse me, authorized program between
A
the
what?
Parks and Recreation.
Oh,
As far as the wording, and also between the trustees board. And so there was a combination meeting, a joint meeting held last week as well, a
Okay.
separate meeting. And that the verbiage was received as the opinion from the attorney, and both sides agreed that that's what should be on the ballot. One
and
of
as the saying
questions-
goes, they got all their ducks in a row.
Right, quack, quack. One of the concerns that we had is that it may be too lengthy in terms of description, which may discourage you folks from voting for the millage.
Who would have ever said that?
You would have.
I did.
And I brought it up too, but I didn't make your name.
Well, now
present,
that
but
cat's out of the bag.
Now it's out of the bag. The cat has squealed. So anyway, this cat was instrumental in that and giving me some feedback. So anyway, actually the information for the ballot was re-reviewed and condensed somewhat in terms of what was required, but only to the degree as legality allowed. In other words, the attorney said you can't go less than this, it has to be this. So you
So
folks
there's
need to be
still some
educated.
so there's still some lawyer ease in
Right.
there.
So they're going to do some promotional, educational work for you folks out
Good,
there.
good.
And if you have any questions concerning this millage coming up, contact the Recreation Department. Ron Davis and his crew will be glad to fill you in on what's going on. It's a good thing. Ron has really been tight on his use of funds allocated to him.
I think, I mean, it
He
really
doesn't
comes
spend
down. It really comes down to what are you going to get? What are you paying now? And what will you pay?
Well, he's come to the point where he's squeezed the duck long enough where he's squealing.
Oh, okay.
So he's looking for a little bit more money so that he can make things continue the way it's been
Right.
progressing.
And he has done a wonderful job with Parks and Rec.
He has. So you folks make sure that you look at this ballot. We're not telling you how to vote, but he would tell you, but you know.
Hey, I don't
right.
even come from here.
Right. So that's where they stand on that ballot issue. Employee evaluation team was established for all the employees working for the township. And actually the person in charge of the police department also will be reviewed as far as against other communities, what they are paying their employees compared to what our township is paying. We want to make sure that we're in a fair, equitable position.
The police department being the contracted
Contracted.
Oakland County Sheriff.
Right. So anyway, but it takes under consideration your supervisor, your clerks and so forth, and all the people as assistant clerks and so forth that work for you in the township. We just want to make sure that this pay scale is, is equitable, that they're not being,
Fit within an acceptable range.
yeah, that's it. So anyway, who's going to be on that board, that committee? Patty Durr and Elgin Nichols, again.
Just two?
And that's what happens when you get the short straw. You get
Whoa.
to do that. So there's a lot that
No
needs to be done.
tiebreaker?
No tiebreaker. There's a lot that has to be done in a short period of time. So
Okay.
as far as those reviews. So those will be coming up, folks, for you folks that work for the township. Now, the budget for fiscal year 2019 is going to have a special meeting September 19th at the township at 7 p.m., which is on a Wednesday. And that was approved to go ahead with it. Board comments, Jack Curtis, water shut off. You want to make sure that the hydrants that were shut off at Lake Villa wasn't the responsibility of the township. The township didn't shut you guys off. Actually, your subdivision shut you down because they had to do fix, I guess, to the water system there.
Oh,
So-
how long was it out?
Not very long, but long enough for people to call the phone and drive it crazy.
Oh, okay.
So at the township level. So just want to let you know. Bill Dunn, M24 lane closure, you want to point that out, and you folks that are traveling down M24, you can see that from Golden Gate to Harriet is pretty much all constructed now in terms of patch pavement.
And some of the patches are really quite nice, and
They are.
they've fixed an awful lot of ruts and deep little potholes.
They're going to repatch that
My
with
car always
brand
seems
new.
to find them too.
Yeah, right. That's going to be repatched with all brand new coming up here in 2019,
or-
24.
Or as they say, in 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah. And you say, he keeps saying it's going to be 2 years, but who knows? We could surprise him.
Well, I've been pretty accurate, just saying it's going to be 2 years no matter what the date was.
Well, being on the task force, they're telling me that it's going to be 2019 in
Okay.
the fall. So we'll
I
have to see
thought
what
you
happens.
said it was going to be 2020.
They said that once. But you know, MDOT, they're a bunch of shifty little fellers. They
Okay,
change things around.
2019,
They say,
the-
hey, we got our job done early over here. We're going to come and get you now.
Well, 2019 is kind of a broad stroke. Is there a month they're planning on starting?
Yes. Wouldn't you like to know?
Everyone would.
Yeah, they would. As soon as we know for sure, we'll let you know out there, folks.
Oh, or
Until
2
then.
years. Or 2 years.
Right. We'll come back with more when we come right back with the Township Planning Commission meeting.
The Michigan Renaissance Festival is about to begin. Tell us which OC TV show you're watching and we'll send you a limited number of tickets while supplies last. Just send a self-addressed stamped envelope to 1775 North Lapeer Road and we'll get them back to you. See you there. Huzzah!
Welcome back to Minutes by Minute. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kenny.
And we're going to talk now about the Oxford Township Planning Commission meeting held on August 9th. We have the chairman, Young. Tom Berger serves on that board. Jack Curtis, again, is on this board. Jack is all over the place, it seems like. Ed Hunwick serves on that board. Mr. Nold. Kelly Rosner-Myers is on the board. And, of course, Mike Spiz, who's our
He's
county
also,
commissioner.
yeah, he is.
Yep.
Done a good job.
Yeah, he is very good. And I think he's pretty well running unopposed
I think so,
in
yeah.
this go round. So, hey, Mike, got a
Good
good
job,
chance
Mike.
to win this one. Anyway, they did the pledge, of course, and the agenda was approved for August 9th. Minutes for July, let me see, 26th, 2018. Yeah, minutes were approved.
Okay.
And let me see, Kelly Rosner, though, she had a statement, I think, with that. She questioned detail concerning the content in the minutes and about the waiver for the park, you know, the safety trail that they were setting aside. Remember we talked about that as a waiver?
Yeah.
So she wanted to make sure that was clarified, you know, in the minutes, and she
Did
brought
that
that up.
that require a re-rate?
No.
Okay.
No, everybody said, let's go ahead with it. It's pretty much self-defined. So
Okay.
that's the way it ended up. But her comments were well received. Public comments, non-agenda, none. Commissioner comments, Rosner, okay. More details in the minutes. We knew that was coming, okay. And so she got her licks in on that one. Unfinished business, none. New business, public hearing. Well, look how we're flying through this one. pre-application request from Joe Saya from Sayed Investments, LLC. He owns property next to the Salvation Army in that area. There's property in there.
Used to
And
be.
actually, it looks like a
used
kind
to
of
be
a big hole
used to
there.
be Tool and Sport there, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if that's the one, but he owns property on both sides, I think.
Okay.
What's going
But
on?
the building, that's the Salvation Army.
Right, and part of it is wetlands.
Oh no, that's not true. That's
Yeah.
fish.
You're making up a story now.
Well, it was getting to be a good one.
That was a good one. I was just going to let you roll, you know, see where you ended up.
Just veer off the road.
Right. So anyway, it's wetlands that he's concerned with. And he wants to fill in the wetlands as such. And he has talked to MDQ.
Didn't they have a pollution problem there years ago?
They may have, and they're going to have soil borers anyway
Because
if
that
he
used-
decides to go on with this.
Yeah, that used to be a dealership there.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't own the dealership.
No,
building.
no, but the
Do you think they
land
would
adjacent.
spread into some of the other areas?
Do you think?
Might. I guess they could go for miles,
Okay.
depending on how bad it is. What are those things that General Motors was spreading all over the countryside that lit up in the dark?
Cars.
Yeah, you're right. There were cars, but you forgot the trucks. And trucks
Oh,
too.
well, yeah,
Okay. Anyhow, he was saying, the owner of this property, he said that he had talked to the MDQ about the wetlands, and they didn't feel that there was a problem with the Michigan Department of Environmental Quality to fill in the unregulated wetlands, which this would be unregulated apparently, west of the property. So a lot of discussion occurred here and about how far back they could do this. And he's looking at roughly 20 feet next to the property line, which would be Salvation Army area, close to that. The address is 1190 South Lapeer Road, just for your information. And it's approximately 1 acre total. But he's going to use just a short portion of that to fill in, supposedly. That's what he would like to do. Let me see what else he had here. Development plan, single family, looking at it. As far as condos, a possibility down the line. Nothing is stamped in concrete or mud here on the Mississippi mud. So the area is currently zone C2, which is commercial, but it could be rezoned for multifamily in that case. So that's pretty much kind of what went on with the Planning Commission for the Oxford Township. I want to say that there's our roving reporter, Rachel Baker, is out there, and she's going to be checking with people about history, about government history, those kind of things, and kind of questions that might be rather interesting to you folks out there. What do you
So if
got
you see
going
Rachel on the street, well, be prepared.
there? Could be you. So,
Could be you.
So what's going on out there, Rachel?
All right. Okay. So, why do we celebrate the 4th of July? Do you guys know?
It's when the United States sent the Declaration of Independence, right?
4th of July is us celebrating our freedom and independence from Great Britain.
Yep. Isn't it when we signed the Declaration of Independence?
Independence from Britain.
Yes.
Yes.
So, what year was the Constitution signed? Do you know? You don't need to give me the date.
Was it 1776?
It was 1776, but if you did, that would be cool.
July 4th.
Yeah. The year?
I feel like I should know from the amount of Hamilton I listen to, but it's numbers just fade away.
1700s, I believe.
Yeah, you're in there.
I wanted to go 1780.
Like the 1780s?
It's around like 1786.
1777. Who did we declare independence from?
Great Britain.
Yes.
Britain and King George.
Great Britain. Yeah, Britain and King George.
yeah.
I don't know why. The fourth? Okay, what was the war called that we fought?
Fighting war.
Yes, the fighting.
Against who?
The British. To earn our independence.
American Revolution.
Yeah.
Which one?
It was when we fought against the British to declare our independence from them.
Okay.
When we were fighting for the birth of our nation, we were fighting. It was patriots versus the British.
I feel like it's the French and Indian, but I feel like it's weird.
No, it's
Yeah, you're probably gonna say it, and I'm gonna
it's okay. The
hate myself. Yeah.
No, my automatic answer because I was the Civil War. Like I don't know Who is Thomas Jefferson, and what two major things has he done for America? Mind you, there's no two specific things. He's done a lot of things. You could just list two.
He's on a bill.
He wrote the Declaration.
He signed the Declaration of Independence, and he's on our dollar bill. Not dollar, but one of our bills.
It's pretty good because you can buy things with that bill.
Yeah, that's the Constitution. Yes.
Thomas Jefferson. Wasn't he,
He signed the Declaration?
what is it called when you send somebody from the nation to another nation to, like, talk? I can't remember what that's called. Thank you, delegate. He was a delegate to France?
He was also an ambassador to France, right?
Yes. He was. Very significant with the Constitution.
Did he write that?
He wrote it.
Yeah.
All right, one more thing. Okay. Do you guys know Thomas Paine?
Oh, that was the pamphlet, that one pamphlet thing?
Yes,
Yeah.
Thomas Paine.
He wrote a very important pamphlet.
Oh no!
Oh dear. Oh jeez.
Didn't even notice.
I remember him from history class.
Do you know what he did?
He wrote a pamphlet.
Yes.
Don't remember the name.
It's okay.
Common Sense by Thomas Paine.
Do you remember what it did?
I don't know, man. But he passed out a bunch of them.
It definitely got people thinking.
Yes. It started the Enlightenment period.
it did.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yes.
Hamilton.
Yeah.
The lyrics to Hamilton.
I know, right? So
Common
good.
Sense
Do you have a favorite founding father?
Founding father?
Jesus.
No.
I had to choose.
I want to say Hamilton, but like,
I want to say Alexander Hamilton, but
that's just the character in the musical, not the actual dude.
George Washington.
I'm afraid to name one and then figure out that it's not a founding father.
He's the one who kept the people moving forward.
Yes, that's an excellent reason to have George Washington as your favorite founding father.
Benjamin Franklin.
Great. All right, there we go. Okay, you guys lived. There you go. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, thanks for playing. Yay.
Well, that was kind of interesting, Rachel, wouldn't you say?
I'd say. So
Anyway.
next week, it could be you.
Yeah. So watch out, folks. I want to
Better
say.
start watching Jeopardy just in case.
Have you any other stories to tell?
No, I've got a couple of meetings.
Oh, what's going on?
Well, on 8/27 at 4:30, our parent organization, the Oxford Area Cable Communications Commission, you
Those
didn't
guys?
respond.
Yeah, no, I
We'll
was
be-
dreaming over
We'll be
here.
meeting at 4 o'clock at the Village of Oxford offices,
Mm-hmm.
and on 8/28, two meetings, both at 6:30. Village of Oxford Council, one of your favorites, and also at 6:30, the Oxford School Board will be meeting at the board offices in downtown Oxford.
All right. Well, this is Minutes by Minute. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kinney.
Catch you next time right here.
See you then.